I'm going to do that. Hello, everyone. If you're just joining us on recording, this is session 1 of Promote with Passion, and we're a little bit in, so I apologize because I forgot to hit the record button. But we are in the first part of session 1. We're talking about how the program works. So we'll meet 6 times. It's really important to meet in person. This is the only training that I will record because I'm really passionate about the fact that I think we need to be live, talking to each other and growing the business. You will also follow up. I will follow up every program with some action steps for you to take. Some other things that I do that aren't in the book that you will expect from me is I will send you an email every single Monday reminding you about the call, first of all, and then also, you know, following up with some of the things we talked about the week before. I'm also going to assign you each a buddy. And just so you know, just if you're on the call today doesn't mean you're in the program yet. You have to live through 90 minutes of me and know all the homework and then decide, sorry, my dog wants to come in, then decide that you're all in. Okay, so after today and after you experience the first class and you're still all in, you send me an email that you're all in, and then I will assign you a buddy. Get him out. Okay, we'll get him out. Sorry, I have 2 really giant dogs. If you haven't talked to me on the phone, if you have talked to me on the phone, you likely know that information already. So I will assign you a buddy when you send me that you're all in. Number 2 is I want you to schedule a 15-minute, 1 time per week chat with your team leader where you go over what you've done for the week. And with that you will turn in a form every Friday. I'm so demanding. But the form basically shares with your leader and me, I want you to copy me on that, what you've done in your business and how things went. What that does is that helps us help you. So for example, if you said you held 4 parties and you did $500 in sales, then we need to talk about what's happening at your parties, right? You know, if you did 4 parties and you had 0 recruit leads, then we need to talk about how you talk about recruiting at your party. So it's really important stuff. So you need to have that to your team leader that you're coaching with. It could be your team leader, it could be your recruiter, it could be your manager. It's your choice, but I need to know who you're coaching with. You need to get that to her by Friday. And the final thing is I want you to touch base with your buddy 1 time per week in a quick, positive, upbeat call, talking about what your focus is for the week. And I'll tell you, your PACE buddy or your partner or whatever you want to call it, they tend to be the people that stick in your business forever. I am still really good friends with about 3 people that partnered with me when I was going for a goal. So, and I've decided to just do random pairings because I think it's fun for you guys to interact with different personalities and different levels of growth so far. I think that's it. And to make the most of your program, of this program, it says learn with passion. So be excited, share your, don't be afraid to share. We're going to start off every call after this week with what you want to celebrate in your business and share. Share what you want to celebrate because that's what it's all about. Oops, I'm missing a chat here. The form is one that I will send out, and I will send that out to everyone on Monday. Oh no, I will send it out. I will send it out once everyone tells me they're all in. You need to tell me you're all in by tomorrow evening. All right, so let's start with section 1. In this section, we will be looking at how you can be a successful leader. Your team will look to model your behavior. We have a saying in the business, it's the pace of the leader is the pace of the pack. And I want you to take into consideration that what you do in your business, your team will most likely always do less. It's just the way it is. So you want to shoot really high in your personal business. Even if your team does a little bit lower, they're still at a really high rate of sales. So tell me really quick, you guys shout out things that you think makes a successful leader.
Positivity.
Positivity.
Perseverance.
Perseverance, that's a good one.
Consistency.
Consistency.
I think we doubled up on, yeah, I said that. I think someone said it as well.
Okay, consistency. What else?
Good listener.
Trustworthy.
Trustworthy, good listener.
Passionate.
Passionate. That's a good one.
Supportive.
Supportive. Great.
Honesty.
Honesty. Good. Very good. So let's talk about, those are characteristics. Let's talk about behaviors of successful leaders. The most important thing I think a leader does is walk the walk. You are the role model of your team. Like I said earlier, they're going to watch what you do. So you want to be consistently booking parties and recruiting. Your team should be able to see you holding parties so that if they bring in somebody new or you bring in somebody new, they have a party to watch, right? So it's really important that you show them how to work a business, how to consistently work a business by walking the walk. You want to master the fundamentals of the business. And guess where you do that? The party. Our business is built on the fundamentals of holding parties. It's the perfect place to sell, recruit, train, host, coach your next parties. I was always motivated to do as much work at my office, the party, as I could. So be thinking about that. The more you do at the party, the less you have to do on the phone or in other places. I'm talking to a lot of you who are trying to build back up your calendars, and it's really not the funnest way to work your business. But once you have a full calendar and you really work the party, you don't have to go back to that. So think about that. Once you build up that calendar, just really working that party. Let's see. What are other ways that you can master those fundamentals of booking, recruiting, and selling? You guys are on it right now. Trainings, Promote with Passion is the perfect way to master some of those skills. Attend our national conference, attend our team leader training in Las Vegas, and again, continue to maintain those schedule of parties. Number 2 is to only do what can be duplicated by your team. You know, some of us like to get fancy and do all this amazing stuff, but if you're overcomplicating your business, not only is your team looking at you saying, well, I can't be a leader because I could never do that, but the people that you want to recruit are looking at you saying, this business is way too hard. And I'll tell you, the top people in this company, they keep it simple. They keep it very simple. Book, sell, recruit, teach your people to do the exact same thing. They follow their cards at their parties. So think about that whenever you're trying to do something that's really fun and creative. It's really cool and it looks great, but is somebody going to look at you and say, oh my gosh, I could never do that. I could never be a leader, or I could never join Dove with her because I couldn't do that. So don't invent the wheel. You'll use tools and programs that already exist and spend your time focusing on your personal business and your team. All right, so number 4 is build your business from the top down. You will always have your strongest influence with the people you directly bring into the business. So you want to work with them. And you want to develop leaders from them to help duplicate your efforts. for example, if you had 3 people and they had 3 people and they had 3 people, and in your organization, you do a one-on-one start with action call with every one of them, it's much easier to do your 3 first levels and then teach them. They can do their 3 and then they can do their 3 instead of you trying to do promote with action or start with action with 9 people. So train your first level people really strong and teach them to do the exact same thing. And that is the key to growing quickly. All right, let's talk a little bit about goal setting. In order to know where to start, you need to know where you're going. So plan your business, run it, don't let it run you. And we're going to talk about setting goals right now. A dream that we all kind of talked about our dreams, right? But a dream without a real plan is just a wish. And that's one of my favorite things, because we need to put our dreams, we need to create plans in order to put our dreams into action, right? So we need a clear-cut plan on how we're going to get there. All right, so I don't think I need to go over why goals are important, because I need to chew up some time here because we've been talking a lot. So we're going to go right over to SMART goals. Raise your hand if you've used SMART goals before. Some people, okay, so they're new to you guys. All right, so this is what a SMART goal is. SMART is an acronym. S is for specific. So I want you to set a goal. For example, I'm gonna pick on Teresa a little bit. She had a goal of taking the kids to Disney, which is pretty specific. Actually, I should probably pick on Kathy, because Kathy said she wanted to be secure financially, which is a great goal, but we need a specific financial amount. So Teresa, how much is it going to take your family to Disney, your 25th anniversary? You need to quantify it. And same with you, Kathy. Think about what the dollar amount is that would really make your family feel secure, really make you feel like you're not working paycheck to paycheck. That's a specific goal. So think about, like, I want to earn $5,000 a month rather than I want to make lots of money. Okay, so that's specific goal. It needs to be measurable. You need to know when you've achieved it, right? So that you can celebrate. So making more money, really is ambiguous, but making, like we said, $5,000 a month, when you're there. Or you want to sell $1,600 a month because you want to be at consistency at national conference. Whatever the goal is, make sure it's specific and measurable. Make sure it's attainable. I don't want anybody on this call setting a goal to be a director by the end of the year. You've got 3 months. It might happen, but it's more likely that you'll be a manager. That would be a really good goal by the end of the year. But so your goals need to be attainable, because you don't want to be deflated 1 to 2 months in. So I'm not saying I want you to sandbag. Does everybody know what sandbags means? Because I had to explain it to one of my friends recently when I was explaining it in business. Okay, sandbag means when I say, so how much are your sales going to be this month, Sylvia? And she says, I'll hit 1,000. And she's already got 700 in her back pocket, and she has 4 parties left. Sandbagging is basically setting a goal that you're going to attain, and you're going to really blow that away, but you don't like to miss goals, so you set them kind of low. So you want your goal to be pushed a little bit, but you want it to be attainable. Make sense? And realistic, same kind of a thing, should be something that is possible. It should challenge and motivate you, not set you up for failure. And then timely. You need to set a timely goal. Every single person on this call is on this call because you want to be a team leader or above. So when do you want to be that? It needs to have a date. It needs to be. And honestly, Everybody on this call could be a team leader by November 30th. Every single one of you could be a team leader by November 30th. And that, I personally would set that goal for each of you. But it has to be your goal, not my goal. But make your goal timely. All right, so one of the most important ways to be effective in goal setting is to write them down. There's some really crazy, I love numbers and percentages, but I always forget them. So it's something like this. For only about 20% of people set goals, which is crazy, right? And out of those 20% of people that set goals, I think 5% write them down. And of those 5% that write them down, 90% achieve. More than the people that write it down. Something crazy like that. It's just a huge difference.
Well, that's kind of cool now.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a really huge difference. So write down your goals. I like to do Post-it notes and then posting them around my life so that I see them, so that, you know, on the bathroom, you know, I've been one to where I open up my bathroom cabinet and it's on the inside there. You know, in your car, in your visor, somewhere where, you know, I'm going to be a leader by November 30th, 2014. I had a friend one time that I was coaching in a business previously who did that same thing. And she had a babysitter babysit, and she was headed for director. And when she came to pay the babysitter, she's like, so you're going to be a director by December 31st. Because she had the Post-it notes everywhere. So post your notes, visualize so that you can see them. Share your goals with others. You want to share your goal for sure with me, with your coaching leader, whether that's your leader or your manager or your upline recruiter. You want to share it with your buddy once you get your buddy. And I like to share your family, obviously, but I also like to share my goals with one really close friend of mine who's outside of the business. They give you a really unique perspective. And I always say, you know, she'll be like, so what's your goal right now? Well, I'm going for Aruba. So then occasionally when we talk, she tells me, so tell me, how's it going with Aruba? And she just really has a fresh set of ears. So consider sharing your goal with someone outside of the business as well. Make sure you're doing something that's related to your goal every day, okay? And I always use this as an example because we all tend to do this as women. I don't know if men are like that. Chris, you could tell us if they are. But when we need to get something done, we feel like everything needs to be cleaned up. So we spend our work time cleaning up. And so when you get involved in activities like that, I want you to snap yourself back into consciousness and say to yourself, is this getting me to my goals? Okay? Is this getting me to my goals? What I'm doing right now, is it going to get me to earn $5,000? Is it getting me to Aruba? And I can tell you, if you're cleaning your office, it is not. Okay? Now, I do have ideas about getting organized. We will share that in another call. But it involves small steps in organizing because you want to add time to your calendar for organizing, not input it into your daily work schedule. So we'll talk about that later, but I'm also very passionate about organizing, and I'll teach you how to do it in a way that you can still work your business. Review goals regularly and evaluate your progress. If you say you want to be a team leader by the end of December and you make it happen at the end of October, it's time to set a different goal, right? So make sure you're reevaluating your goals regularly. Any questions about goal setting? All right, so we are at the beginning. We're going to talk now about our roadmap to our goal, okay? We're at the beginning of our 6 sessions, and we've learned about setting goals to set and reach your goals for this program. We are going to complete this exercise together and use it in our coaching calls between sessions, okay? So I want you to think about where you would like to be at the end of the 6 weeks. All right? And right there at the 100% mark on the map below. Remember to make sure it's a SMART goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. There will be a quiz on this later. No, I'm just kidding. I have to be funny because you hear my boring voice for a long time.
So Kim, that takes us to December 1st, am I right?
Sure. I think our 6th call is in November.
November 24th, yeah.
November 24th. So right before Thanksgiving, where do you want to be in your business? And you can actually just push it to the end of the month.
Okay.
So let's say that you want to have 4 new people on your team, so that would be 4. Okay, right where you are today. So if you want 10 people on your downline, you're at 2 today, you need to recruit 8. All right, then divide that by 2 and write your 50% number where you want to be halfway through the program, which is November 3rd is halfway through the program. So where you need to be halfway through the program. Okay. Then you can fill in 25% and 75%. This kind of gives you a guideline. It's kind of like losing weight. If I want to lose 25 pounds by Christmas, I really want to lose 25 pounds by Christmas. But instead of just that big giant elephant of that 25 pounds, breaking that up into, I need to lose a couple pounds a week, makes my goal to lose that 25 pounds by Christmas a lot more doable. So that's exactly what we're doing here. Eating that elephant one bite at a time. All right, so you guys got that? How many more sections do we have here? Oh my goodness. Lots of hearing me talk today. Okay, so let's talk about booking. Booking is one of the most important skills you can master. And we already talked about why you want bookings, right?
Keep our business
Yep.
flourishing.
Yeah. So no matter what your personal goal is with your business, the one thing that is guaranteed to get you closer, guaranteed to get you closer to your goal, is to have a strong calendar. All right? So why you need to continue to hold parties, we know that. We want you to be a role model for your team. We want to maintain your own income and have control of your earnings. You always make the most money when you personally sell, always. And so the easiest way for you to give yourself a raise is by going to do more parties. You can earn 40%, right? By triple bonusing. All right. To keep in touch with your customers, to find your recruiting leads, to book your parties from your parties, to build and develop your team, the best place to train your newbies is at your parties. And to get them at your parties, you have to have parties on the books. To develop your personal skills, to advertise, and referrals. These are all reasons why you want to hold parties. So, booking, kick off the party with a power statement. This is really your power statement. How many of you are really confident in the power statement? What you open up your party with?
Say that again, Kim. What we open?
Who's really confident in their power statement? What they open up their parties with?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we've got some people. Let me tell you that, and if you've held lots of parties, you know, studies show that the first 3 to 5 minutes of your party is the only time in the entire party that you have everyone's undivided attention. Undivided attention is the first 3 to 5 minutes. I want you to think about that. How important the words are that you say in the first 3 to 5 minutes are. So knowing that, you need to have a real powerful opening. And you want to make sure you're touching on recruiting and booking seeds. You want them to hear that in the first 3 to 5 minutes. So they have a really good power statement here. I say you look over that and create your own. One thing I'd like you to add to that is once you talk about bookings and how your average host gets between $100 and $200 in free and half-price yummies. When you talk about all that, I want you to add one more thing. I want you to say something like, one more thing I want you to do tonight. I want you to watch me. I want you to watch how fun and easy my job is. I mean, I just stand up here and read these cards. And if you can see yourself up here doing what I do, having fun at a party, sharing chocolate, making everybody smile, then I would love to send you home with some more information tonight. Okay? You want me to say that again?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So after you say all of that's listed here, I want you to say one more thing I want you to do tonight. I would love for you to watch me. Watch how simple and fun my job is. I just read from these cards and I get to share chocolate with all of you and make all of you smile. Something like that. Whatever it is that you love about your job, put in there. And if you could see yourself standing right here doing what I do, then I would love to send you home with some more information tonight. And that's it. And then you go into introductions. So consider if you do not have a strong opening yet, write it down and memorize it. And I'm not into memorizing everything, but this is important. Because if you only have 3 to 5 minutes of their undivided attention, you want to make an impact. And this is how you do it. All right? So I'm going to skip over to, I want to do a quick activity. Sprinkle booking seeds throughout the party. For those of you on the call who do parties regularly, hopefully all of you, share with me or share with all of us some of the ways that you sprinkle booking seeds to your guests at the party.
I play that game, Deal or No Deal.
Oh, okay. Tell us about that. Who is this?
This is Erin.
Hi, Erin.
I have a promise. Hi. I have a promise in these little baggies that are like opaque so they can't see. And I have it on a plate that is a Hawaiian plate. And I've already explained, like at the beginning, why I have Hawaiian stuff to keep me goal oriented. And I wear a lei and I put it on the hostess. So I've already talked about Aruba by this time. And I just say, this is a game called Deal or No Deal. And inside each baggie is a promise, also a P for party or a G for gift. And I'm going to go around the room. And then I ask everybody to take a baggie and I say, don't peek. And then I explain, what we're doing. And I say, if you would like to deal, that means that you're going to open your bag. And if you have a P, you promise to have a party. We'll pick a date. If it's a G, I promise to give you a gift tonight. And if you say no deal, I promise not to be upset. And they all start laughing. And then we just go around the room. And majority of the time, there are some people that say deals, but sometimes I've had parties where they all say no deals. But then you ask again, at the full checkout. And so it's all about just, putting it in their head and sprinkling, like you said. So Deal or No Deal, I think, is a fun game to play, just to talk about the host. I also do Stack the Host also, which you guys probably, I don't know. I do have a question about that, Kim, if I could ask this. When people say keep it simple, and I know that my upline gets a lot of recruits, and I think my upline also keeps it simple. And I haven't watched her in a long time. I might have to go to one of her parties, but I like to stack the host. I like to do that because I'm a visual person, and I say that at my parties, and I like to see what you can get for free. So I feel like that's beneficial, but it's also another bag that I'm bringing into the party when we're supposed to keep it simple and just like people say, just bring your tote. I cannot just bring my tote. It's like my tote and then a bag full of the boxes. But I guess I could fold them up and make them flat, but I don't. I just like think it's quicker to just pull them all out. They're all empty, so they're not that heavy, but I just wanted to see if people are still doing Stack the Host, or is that not done anymore? I mean, I'm still doing it.
Doing Stack the Host. How many on the call do Stack the Host?
Yeah.
Know what that is?
Okay, who said I don't know what that is? Oh, Teresa?
Yeah. That is.
Okay. So there's a great video in the back office once you click on Training Center, and we have our videos, full service. I'm going to refer you to those a lot because I really want you guys as part of this program, if you haven't watched them yet, to make sure you watch them. But there's a Stack the Host, and basically it's showing the host visually what she can get for free by hosting a $500 party. So by the end of the time, especially when you take into consideration that they can get bundles for half price with their half price, they are like so overloaded that you have to call up somebody to help them. Oh my gosh, Sylvia, come up and help Teresa because her arms are full. She's gotten too much, so it's a great visual of what they get. It does mean that you have to bring extra. I've also seen people do Post-it notes, kind of showing, everything that you can get in the catalog. So,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
some visual is good. And back to your Deal or No Deal. I used to always play Deal or No Deal when I was in the business, and you can create excitement by going to each person, deal or no deal. And you're going to get people who want to book, and you're going to get people who don't want to book, right? So really, but even if people choose the deal and they get the gift, you still know that they're interested in booking, right? So if they play the game, you know that you can get them to book a party. The other thing I like to do for booking, and it got very, Stacy offers a booking price for anyone who books socks, candles, ornaments that you find cheap at the dollar store, probably, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah, I have a gift. I have a bag that says surprise on there, and I have actually went to the store to just get like the minis of Mars candy bars, and so that's in there, and then the dollar candles from the dollar store, which I can't find anymore. I just ran out recently, but I have to find more of those because they had the little M&M on there, and they were just $1, and they were different colors, and they smelled really good. And then I have the Chef Series candy, and I also have Vitalize.
Oh, okay.
Those things in there, so they can just pick one thing.
I would make sure to keep it under. Oh, they pick one of them. Okay.
Yeah, they just pick one. They just stick their hand in there and pick one.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Great idea. Okay.
That's what I do too. I just do a small dollar store item, or I get on Amazon and order things in bulk. I found some really cheap spatulas, F&M spatulas, things like that, and I give a gift at my party for anyone that books, and then they also see everybody. I get the host a party at the party, so they see that the host gets a gift, and then if they get a booking gift as well, just a small one.
Make sure to keep it inexpensive because, again, you want to be duplicatable. I used to do gifts, but I'd only do it on my starred dates. So let's say I had a party tonight and I had 2 dates next week that I was available to party. And I use an available date card. I'd pass it around and they could pick dates that I had available. I never showed my calendar. And I always said, if you pick my starred dates, I have an extra gift for you. And that's when I would give anything special like that. The other thing I love to do is I love to involve my host in getting bookings. I've done things, I love what Erin said about the lays, but you can attach like chocolate or an M&M to a lay and have the hostess wearing 3 of them, and say everyone that you give that lay to with M&Ms or whatever's on the necklace is booking a party, so help me get rid of them, okay? So your people walk in and they'll say, oh my gosh, why are you wearing M&Ms around your neck? And you know, the host is like, you want to help me get it off my hands? Book a party. And so it's fun and joking, but it really is a visual reminder to the host that, you know, she's trying to book parties. You can only put 2. I like 3 because I like to get 3 bookings at a party, but when they get 2 bookings to hold, they're going to get that Miss Brown box. So you can have her have 2 around her neck with M&Ms that are in the Miss Brown box, and when she gets rid of them, you can all celebrate together. Yay! Our host tonight is going to get the Miss Brown box when both of these ladies hold their parties. So it's kind of fun. Let's see. That's about it. Anybody else have any booking bids that they'd like to share with us?
I don't know if this is a booking thing. It hasn't really happened yet, but I just started. I ask everybody to take out their cell phones, and then I give them my phone number at the count of 3, and the first person that calls me, I give them like the prize is like an extra raffle ticket, you know, because I do a raffle at the end. But then I say, and then they just like start laughing when I tell them that I said, now you have my phone number in your phone for when you decide to have your party. Just write Erin, the chocolate lady, and my phone number is already in there. And somebody the other day did not book a party, but she said, well, I have your number now, you know, in my phone. So and she walked away. So it's like, well, I hope she uses that. But I heard that from somebody else, and I thought that was kind of cute. And everyone always kind of chuckles after that. And they do have your number, so it's like something, you know, under the radar that they can later on call you.
Like it. I used to do that too.
I like that.
So let's talk about wrapping it up with the full service checkout. I'll tell you what, when I was in the field, the one behavior that I changed that made the most impact in my business was implementing the full service checkout. How many of you on this call do the full service checkout with every guest at every party?
I'm doing it.
I'd probably do 90%.
Okay.
I'd probably do 90.
Okay.
I try to, but it doesn't always work that way.
Okay, everyone put their right hand up. No, I'm just kidding. And Savannah says she tries to. I can tell you that if you implement this, your business will change. And we also have another video in the back office that shows you the full service checkout. And I was in Vegas a couple of months ago. I just want to tell you a quick story. And I always talk about the full service checkout with everybody that I'm coaching. And, you know, people kind of get freaked out about it. I don't know why people think it's a big deal. It's not really a big deal. It's just having a conversation and offering your customer everything that we have to offer here at Dove. But I was working with a new person at the time. She's now a senior team leader, Andrea Mahoney. And she was shadowing Shelly Whitmarsh, one of our senior managers. And Shelly does the full service checkout with every customer at every party, never fails. And Andrea got to witness that. And she's like, I can't believe how easy it is. She goes, you don't get upset when people say no. She goes, it doesn't bother you. You just say it and you said it and it's done and it's over with. And they either say yes and they either said no. And she decided in her business that day that she would always do that. And she grew very quickly, very, very quickly. And she came out of another direct selling business where she did not grow. And she became a senior team leader in just a couple of months. So I always mention Andrea now when we talk about the full service checkout because it really, really turned around her business. So, do you guys know what the full service checkout is? Yeah. Pretty much. I like to say it's just a way to offer every customer the 3 opportunities that we have here at Dove. the opportunity to join us in our business, the opportunity to get free products by booking their own party, and the opportunity to be a preferred customer of yours. So before you start the full service checkout, you need to set up an area that it's going to take place. I always like to talk to the host beforehand and make sure most people are more comfortable doing a full service checkout if they're kind of away from the group in private. And if that's you, then make sure you talk to your host beforehand so that she makes a place for you. If you're in the dining room, maybe it's in the kitchen, or if you're in the living room, maybe it's in the dining room. So just make sure she has a space for you to check out. And in that area, you're going to want to have 3 piles. You want a Sweet Success brochure or some kind of recruiting packet that you give to people who are interested. You're going to want to have a pile for your potential bookings. So you're going to have booking packets and your calendar or your open dates that you have available. And then all the host offers. And then you're going to have a 3rd pile that has catalogs, your order forms, any customer specials, and your drawing slips. And you want to start your full service checkout by collecting yeses. So you want to ask questions like, so Teresa, tell me, did you have fun tonight? And
Yes.
you smile? Did you? And you smile and you nod. And she's going to say yes, because who would lie and say they didn't, even if they didn't? Did you enjoy the samples that we shared tonight? And they're going to say yes. So you're kind of collecting some yeses, okay? Now, one other tip is as you're moving through the full service checkout, you want to move your hand on the pile from left to right. Don't ask me why. I just follow what it says in the book, but apparently it works. All right? And you always want to slide down the hill, all right? You want to start with the opportunity. And if they say no, move to booking. And if they say no, move to preferred customer. Because if they say no to a preferred customer, it's hard to say, well, then do you want to join my business? Because of course they're not. They don't even want to be a preferred customer. So you're going to start at the top. And people naturally want to help you. So it's not very likely that they'll say no to you 3 times. All right, so you're going to start with the opportunity. And you're going to put your hand on the pile of opportunity packets. And you're going to find, and just a little key, that during your party, you have to be a detective. And I call them need detectives, okay? A need detectives. So you want to find a need that you can fulfill with Dove, or characteristics of people that would be great at what we do. Every single person at your party, you either need to know the need or the characteristic, one of them, because you're going to want to use it at full service checkout. So you constantly have to be listening, and that's why getting to know people at your parties is so important. So you want to say something like, Sally, you shared some great ideas tonight. Have you ever thought about doing what I do? So simple question, have you ever thought about doing what I do? If she says no, I might say, well, would you mind if I asked why? And then get her why. Is this a no for now, or is this a no forever? That's an important question to ask. So simply adopt the phrase, have you ever thought of doing something like this? If they say yes, you're going to give them the brochure. Now, a little warning. Remember at the beginning where you said, if you can see yourself up here doing what I do, I'm going to give you some information to take home to learn more. Keep your promise. You don't want to all of a sudden get into, oh my gosh, well, you totally got to do this if you think I want to do this, and try to recruit them. Because then the people that are waiting in line are going to be like, I am so not telling her I'm interested. You want to honor what you said, and you want to say, here you go, Teresa. here's some more information. Will you have time in the next 24 hours to read through this? And hopefully she'll say yes, because you want to talk to her in the next 24 hours. Great. What time can I call you tomorrow to answer any questions that you have? Is the afternoon or the evening better? Okay? So and that's when you want to set up your Cocoa Chat. Simple, right? Am I scaring you? Of course not.
You make it sound easy.
And I'm not even following along in the book, so I'm sorry. But did I say it pretty close to what it? Yep, I
Yeah,
think I'm.
exactly.
I've been using this for a long time. So let's say the no is no, thank you. I'm not interested at all. You want to acknowledge her no and say something like, well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty. I still think you'd be a great chocolatier, but I totally respect your no. And also ask for referrals. Okay. Now then you're gonna move your hand over to the booking pile. Okay? And you're gonna say something like, I could tell you loved our products tonight. Let's see. I'd love to help you fill your home with free products. I'm trying to read now, see, and I fail when I try to read. But you're gonna wanna give her the opportunity to host her own. Let's see, or say something like, it sounds like you're a party goer, or wouldn't your friends love a night like tonight? When can we host your own party? So whatever way you feel comfortable, offer the opportunity for her to host and get products for free. If she says yes, great, book her date. Make sure you book her within the next 3 weeks if you can. That's always your goal. And if she says no, move your hand to the final pile. Okay, all right, sorry. So when you move your hand to the final pile, you want to ask her if she'd like to be one of your preferred customers. You want to make sure you have all of her information, including her email. Make sure her email's printed and you can read it, because I don't know how many times I get home and I try to input an email and I think, is that an A or an O? So make sure you can read it correctly. One little fun thing I like to do for my preferred customers, if you like to email your customers, is I put their birthday month in there, and then I create an email distribution list for every month in the calendar, January through December. And at the beginning of the month, I just send them a quick note saying, happy birthday from your chocolatier, Kim. Just want to tell you, any order that you place this, if you place an order this month of $50 or more, I'll give you 10% off. So just something fun so that they can remember you by. One thing I also like to do is let them know that I plan to follow up with them and say, I'd love to call you in a couple weeks to see how much you love your chocolate. Does that sound good? And what are they gonna, does that sound good? What are they gonna say? Yes. And guess what? You're giving them permission to call. And I love that 2-week call, because guess what? The only purpose of that call, mostly, is to establish a relationship. I would say, hey, Stacy, this is Kim, the chocolatier. I met you at Teresa's party. How you doing? How you doing, Stacy?
Which one? There's two.
Oh, I don't care. So when I call you, I'm gonna just say, how you doing? And make sure, because I don't know how many people get their chocolate, they put it on their shelf, and guess what? 2 weeks later, they haven't even opened it. So when you're talking about booking a party a couple, weeks later, well, I still have my stuff on my shelf. You do not want that to happen. So you call in 2 weeks and you say, oh my gosh, you better open up that chocolate. It's not meant for your pantry, it's meant for your family. So then once you say that, just say, okay, great. Do you mind if I call you in a month or so and share what sales we have going on, blah, blah, blah. So you're establishing a relationship. You're calling just because So the next time she sees your phone number on caller ID, she's not going to avoid you, hopefully, because you've established a relationship. So I highly recommend you doing that. Also, one of your action steps is to watch the full service checkout in the back office and the Stack the Host videos. Okay, the final thing we're going to talk about is the 21 Day to Success. And I kind of talked about all that already. Studies show that it takes 21 days to create a habit. So anything you do for 21 days straight, it's going to become a part of your life. And so we want you to really create the habit of connecting with 3 people per day in your business. So create a list or use a calendar. But every day you make your 3 contacted calls. It can't be leave a message. It has to be meeting them at the grocery store, talking to them at the soccer game, a live call. It cannot be leave a message. So you start tomorrow and you work for 21 days. Guess what? If you miss one, you have to start all over because you don't create a habit if you miss one. So I challenge you guys, that's action step number 3, is to implement the 21 days to success. And you want your calls to be about booking or about recruiting. All right, we're just about done with session 1. So we're gonna go over the summary section and we're gonna summarize what we've done today. So we talked about how leadership can help make your dreams come true. We discussed the characteristics and the behaviors of great leaders. Lead by example, master the fundamentals, do only what can be duplicated, build the business from the top down. We talked about creating, making your dreams come true by creating goals and creating a plan. And you want to create your SMART goals. Remember, they're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. You want to make sure you're booking a full calendar of parties. One thing I haven't said yet that I usually say a million times is the thing that makes this program more effective is getting out there and doing the activities that we learn. So if you have no bookings on your calendar, it's hard to put into practice what we learn here. So you really, really take full advantage of this course by having a full calendar. The full service checkout makes it easy to offer the 3 opportunities. How many of you promised to commit to the full service checkout? Remember, I made it sound easy. It is easy. Offering all 3 opportunities to every guest at every party. All right, so here are our follow-up activities. Kick off each party with the power statement. Start using the 21 days to success tomorrow. Use the full service checkout. Use your calendar, full service checkout and booking using open-ended questions to fill in as many dates as possible. And every week, do 2 to 3 parties, 2 to 3 Cocoa Chats, and set a goal to recruit 3 people per month. 1 or 2 is good, but 3 is great. Growing quickly. Let's see. Now, your call to action for me was also to create a visualization of your dreams, either a vision board or a statement that you can see. Watch those videos that we discussed and implement the full service checkout. Now, remember, okay, we're done with our first call, so I'm going to stop recording. Oh, no, I'm not going to stop recording. So we are done with our first call, and you know how long they last, and you know what the class is going to take. It's the call that we have 60 minutes to 90 minutes a week, plus the action between the calls that is required to participate. So if you are still all in, send me an email tonight or tomorrow morning that says, Kim, I'm all in. I'll hook you up with a buddy, and you are officially enrolled into our PWP class. All right? Any questions about tonight? Did I overwhelm anybody, and is anyone out of here? You don't have to tell me. I'll just
The
know.
videos that you want us to watch,
Yes?
are they the ones that are in the training center